All right, welcome back. Today, we're diving into what feels like a massive global game of chess. But here's the thing. Just as we thought we knew the rules, the whole board is getting flipped upside down. We are, of course, talking about the electric vehicle market.
And all of this action, all this strategy, it really boils down to one huge question. Are we about to see a brand new EV war break out right here on American soil? Well, the answer is way more complicated and honestly, a lot more interesting than you might guess. So, to figure out what's heading for the US, you first have to look at where this battle is already raging at full tilt. And for that, we've got to go to the absolute epicenter of the EV world, China. Look, it is impossible to overstate just how intense China's EV market is. It's not just competitive, it's a genuine pressure cooker. Every single automaker, whether they're local or from overseas, is locked in this constant struggle. They have to innovate on tech, on features, and, this is the big one, on price, just to stay in the game.
So you have to wonder, right? In an environment that brutal, how is a longtime leader like Tesla fighting back? Well, they've pulled out a whole new playbook, and they're making some incredibly fast, really aggressive moves to defend their turf.
And when I say fast, I mean lightning fast. In just a really short period, they've launched a new six-seater Model Y, the one a lot of American customers have been asking for. They're getting a more affordable standard range model ready to go. They've bumped up all Model Y screens to a larger 16-inch display. And they dropped an absolute bombshell of a new financing plan.
And yeah, their money moves are just as aggressive as their product moves. Get this, 0.5%. That's the fee rate on their new 7-year financing plan. Think about that. In a market where every single dollar or yuan counts, making that monthly payment way, way lower is a massive lever to pull. So you see, this isn't just one random move. It's a full-on coordinated strategy. They're adding more features, like the bigger screen and the third row, while at the same time making the cars way cheaper to actually own month to month. It's like they're squeezing the competition from both sides, better product and better price. Okay, so while Tesla is busy fighting a defensive war over in China, the big Chinese auto giants are planning a really bold offensive of their own. They're getting ready to open up an entirely new front, right in Tesla's own backyard. And to get a sense of just how big this challenge is, you only need to look at a company like Geely. We're not talking about some tiny startup here. This is a massive auto conglomerate that already owns brands you definitely know, like Volvo, Polestar, and Lotus. This is a serious global powerhouse. And you know what? They're not even trying to hide their plans. When someone asked Geely's head of global communications about coming to the US, he was crystal clear. He said, and I'm quoting here, "I think we'll have an announcement on that in the next 24 to 34 months. It doesn't get much more direct than that." Now, I know what you might be thinking. Hang on, aren't there massive US tariffs that pretty much block cars made in China? And yeah, you're absolutely right. That's the fortress wall. But what's so fascinating is the incredibly clever strategy these companies are putting together to just walk right around it. The workaround is actually a pretty straightforward 3-step plan. Step 1. Build your factories in countries that have good trade deals with the US. Think places like Thailand or Malaysia. Step 2, make your cars there under your own Chinese brand. And step 3, ship those cars to the US, completely sidestepping the tariffs that are only aimed at cars made in China. And right here, this is the core of the whole strategy. The US tariffs are laser focused on the location of the factory. Is the car made in China? The loophole is that the rules don't really say anything about cars made by a Chinese company as long as they're making them somewhere else. It's a subtle difference in wording, but it changes everything. And hey, this isn't some far-off theory. It is already happening. BYD has a factory up and running in Thailand. XPeng has facilities dotted around Europe and Asia. And remember Geely? Well, because they own Volvo, they already have a factory on US soil right in South Carolina. The chess pieces are already on the board. This all leads to a really powerful metaphor that came out of the source material. These huge tariffs are being called a stopgap measure. The idea is you can sandbag the levy as much as you want, but the water is going to keep on rising. The argument here is that this new wave of global competition isn't just possible, it's probably inevitable. So when you put it all together, the old rules of the car world are basically dissolving right before our eyes. A whole new game is starting, and it's being played on a global scale with new players and new strategies. And that leaves us with one final, really critical question to chew on. With the rulebook changing this fast,
Are American automakers truly ready for the competition that's coming?